you will have, 8 years of Republican. And then the people get sick of that Republican because spending, because of war and just whatever. They get sick of that Republican and they want change. So they will elect a Democrat. And usually for 8 years. If you look at Clinton, Obama, 8 years. But the Bushes, 8 years. And it's usually back and forth, back and forth. Democrat, Republican, Democrat, and Republican. The Democrat will go in and people will get sick of the Democrats. So we get a Republican for another 8 years. That's the way it usually works. And that's because people want hope. And I understand that. People don't want to feel like everything is going downhill. They want to feel like that something's going to get better, and they're led to believe through politics, manipulation, ads, buzzwords that things are going to get better. Just elect me, put me in office, give me the power, and I will fix whatever. And it's back and forth, back and forth. And if you've noticed, nothing really gets a whole lot better. Some things will change. Some things will get, a little bit better. Other things will get worse. But the main agenda keeps pushing forward. It doesn't matter if it's a Republican or a Democrat. The main agenda keeps going forward. They keep spending. In fact, during Donald Trump's first term, we went into debt, United States government went into debt, nearly $8 trillion, but $7 trillion and something dollars. Joe Biden's term, 4-year term, about the same, nearly $8 trillion. Some of, actually quite a bit of the $8 trillion when Donald Trump was in office was because of the COVID stimulus. All the money, that went out to special interest and corporations and everything, and the people got the crumbs off the table. There was a lot of that $8 trillion from Donald Trump. We had Operation Warp Speed, Big Pharma. So things keep going along, but they do that to make people think there's going to be a change, to keep everyone calmed down, keep everyone relaxed, keep everyone docile for just a little bit longer while their main agenda keeps going forward. And you may have, we've seen the border wide open for the last 4 years. Been a major catastrophe with that border wide open. Now, Donald Trump says he's going to close the border up, and I think that he probably will. However, to do that, more than likely, they will limit our movement. They may put in the biometric ID system for everyone, to protect us from those illegals and to secure the border. Crisis, action, solution. And sometimes they will have another administration like the Biden administration do this one part of the play, open the border up, and then Donald Trump comes in to close the border up and deport these people, and the people will cheer, but we will still yet, more than likely lose freedom. Put in a biometric ID, put in digital currency, social credit score system, one step at a time. But the main agenda usually goes forward no matter who is in office. But people don't want to see this. And a lot of people, when I'm making these videos, will get really, really pissed off at me if I say anything negative about Donald Trump at all. I'm glad Donald Trump got into office. I voted for Donald Trump, mainly because I hope he closes the border up, because it's been a big issue. But like I said, this border being open for 4 years, and then Trump getting elected and closing the border up, could have been all the plan to begin with, to take us further into this Great Reset 2030 agenda. the biometric IDs, the eye scans and all that going on, social credit score system, central bank digital currencies, taking out Iran, more than likely, and it was probably already all part of the agenda. This administration leaves the border open, lets in tens of millions of illegals, criminals. The people want something done, something someone else is elected. This other person can't be to blame for the border being open, but we have to back this other person so they can close this border up. And we may have to give some of our freedoms up. We may have to have biometric ID in the United States to identify the illegals from the citizens. We may have to have that to close the border up. We may have to limit movement inside the United States, for our protection. And it was all planned from the start. This administration causes a crisis. The next administration goes in to fix the crisis, but we end up losing freedom. Freedom to get a little bit of security. And the people will cheer. And if you tell anyone that nothing much will change, there's still going to be spending, be a lot of promises, but the spending is going to keep on going, the trillions of dollars, the debt, the inflation, the economy is going to tank, bricks that's been being put into place, especially over the last few years here. They've made great strides. They're not going to go back and say, okay, Trump's in office now, we're going to go ahead and go back on the dollar, support the United States again as far as the dollar being the world reserve currency. No, they're not going to do that. They're not going to go backwards when they went forward already, so they're going to keep on dumping the dollar. And we're going to lose the dollar at the world reserve currency. Actually, we already have. But it's going to get worse in my opinion. But people want hope. They want hope. They want to believe that things are going to get better. And they put their hopes in a politician, in politics, because they want that hope so much, but they don't want to do anything themselves. They don't want to prepare. They don't want to keep prepping. That's why as soon as someone comes into office, especially the president for some reason, and offers them some hope, they will quit prepping and put all their hope and faith in a politician, in Donald Trump or Biden, Obama, whoever. It don't matter. There's always people supporting those politicians and putting full faith in those politicians. Half the country and the other half of the country, depending on who's in office. So people's very quick to put the responsibility on someone else because they want to have hope. They want to have hope that the United States is going to come back and be great again. We're going to have, we're going to pay the debt off. We're going to close the border up. We're going to have freedom, prosperity. We're going to have no wars. But it never ends up that way. We hear all these promises, but people still yet have the hope, and they will follow these politicians who are giving these promises and having hope that things are going to get great again, because they don't want to admit that everything is falling apart, and that's going to continue to keep falling apart. And I understand that. People want to have hope. They want to think that things are going to be getting better. And I totally understand it. I really do. I totally understand it. But if you look at history, it's like the Jones plantation. You get sick of this party over here. Say they're Democrats. They've been in there for 8 years. It's been spend. It's been the same agenda pushing forward. And then someone else will come along from the other party and say, I can fix this mess over here. They will come in and they will make more problems, but they will try to fix sometimes other problems. But it's all part of the agenda to keep moving us in a certain direction. If you notice, every politician, every government, regardless if it's Republican or Democrat, always puts in more laws, more regulations, meaning less and less freedom for us. They spend more and more currency. which means more inflation for us. It's usually the same things, kind of just repeat, and they will put in a Republican or a Democrat, and then people get sick of that, and they put in the other one, and that makes people say, well, we can do something now. Just hold on a little bit longer. Let's don't rebel, don't revolt. Hold on a little bit longer, everything will be okay. Then someone else gets elected, and everyone cheers. Same agenda goes forward, or like I said, like with this border issue here, when we have the Biden regime, administration went in, opened the border up. Everyone wanted that border closed. So Trump gets elected. Trump will close the border up, which it needs to be closed up. I'm not saying that, but we will still yet lose freedom in this country because of that. And it doesn't matter who is the president. It's always the same thing. Rinse and repeat. Rinse and repeat. And we always lose freedom, we always lose rights, and we always go into more debt. It's the same thing, over and over again, it really is. And to me, it's obvious how it's working, what they're doing with all this politics. It is the Jones Plantation. You need to watch that movie, The Jones Plantation. Larkin Rose, I think, put that movie out, or had a lot to do with the production of that, I think. But it's a good movie, it really is, and it shows how the political system actually works. And people keep falling for this because they want hope. Even myself, I voted for Donald Trump because I wanted hope that he would close the border up. Because I see and read about all these gangs coming across the border. Trinidad Lagua, they're recruiting now inside the United States to build their numbers up. Tens of millions of people coming across. And I wanted the border closed up, so I voted for Donald Trump. Hope, I had hope. And I think that he probably will, if he even makes it to get into office, will try to close the border up. However, more than likely, in doing that, we will lose freedom. They will more than likely use the border and all the illegals and securing the border as an excuse to put in is biometric ID systems. And that's going to play right in with the digital currency. It's going to play right in with the social credit score system, the Agenda 2030. See, it just keeps going along, guys. Moving toward what you already planned anyway. It's amazing, it really is. It really is amazing the way things happen. But people keep falling for it because they want to have hope. They want to think that it's going to be okay. It's going to be all right. It's going to get better. We just have to hold out a little bit longer and elect this other politician in the office, swear these people in, their hand on the Bible, everything is going to be okay. If you look at history, it never is. Every time, we always lose freedom. Look at after 9/11, what happened? The Patriot Act, NDAA, and we're still under that now. No president has ever tried to rescind that. It's always this war on terror in the United States, and that was all by design. It's all by design. It's like this border being wide open, I think, was by design. Biden was doing his part, letting all these people through, knowing that later on the people would want it fixed and that they would be able to implement this biometric ID system, this control of movement inside the United States, because the people wanted this mess fixed. And the people will say, well, we'll get rid of these people here, we'll close the border up, crime will go down, and we'll be safer. So we have to go along with this right now, but maybe later on we can vote and change this back. It never works that way. It goes on, it stays in place, and we always lose freedom. We always have more laws passed. We always have more spending, more spending, more spending, which makes more inflation. There's a reason that the dollar has lost so much value over the last few decades because of government spending. And it doesn't matter who's in office, Republican or Democrat, back and forth, the spending continues. The main agenda will continue. There may be a few changes to make people think that this person is different, going to do something else, but all the main agendas keep going forward. Anyway, if you liked the video, give it a big thumbs up. Thanks for watching. I'll see you on the next video, hopefully.